Lawyers for Alec Baldwin have confirmed to the BBC that all charges against the actor stemming from the fatal shooting of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins on the set of his Western movie Rust have been dropped. A reminder of what happened. In October 2021, Baldwin was rehearsing a scene on the set at a ranch in New Mexico. When the prop gun he was holding fired, it resulted in the death of the 42-year-old Ukrainian-born cinematographer. Charges of involuntary manslaughter were then brought against him and the film's armourer, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, who you see here. Lawyers for both of them denied any wrongdoing. So let's find out what's going on. Sophie Long is with us. She is in LA, I think, usually is in LA. What do you think is happening here, Sophie? Because I know they pleaded not guilty, but the prosecutor down there in Santa Fe seemed pretty confident in the evidence that he had.
Yeah, well, this has only broken in the last few minutes, Christian. So we now know, and we've only heard from Alec Baldwin's lawyers, that the two charges of involuntary manslaughter against him are due to be dropped. Now, that comes from his lawyers, who have issued a statement saying they welcome that news, and they now encourage a full and proper report into the tragic circumstances and facts surrounding this tragic accident. Now, as you rightly pointed out, this took place in October of 2021. Halyna Hutchins, 42 years old, a rising star in the film world. She was shot by a gun that Alec Baldwin was holding. We now know that that gun had live ammunition in it. It went through the director, Joel Souza, and struck Halyna Hutchinson, who later died from her injuries. Now, this news comes of the charges, the criminal charges against Alec Baldwin being dropped on the day that filming of Rust, they had been filming a period western on a set in New Mexico. That was set to resume today in a new location in Montana. Now, the director, who was seriously injured, Joel Souza, he is still the director of that film. There is a new cinematographer, obviously, but the crew and cast of the film felt very strongly that they wanted to honour Halyna and her legacy. So the filming was due to get underway once again after that hiatus today in Montana. And now we have the news that these criminal charges have been dropped. Now, Alec Baldwin's lawyers were always very clear about the fact that they thought that the charges were wrong. They said they represented a gross miscarriage of justice. They said at the time they were filed in January this year that they would fight them and that they would win. Now, we hear today from them that the charges against them, the criminal charges, are due to be dropped. I should point out there are a slew of other civil cases in connection with this tragic incident in relation to the death of Halyna Hutchins, both by her family in Ukraine. A settlement was already reached with her husband, Matthew Hutchins, and her son in the time since then, about a year after the shooting took place. So this is the latest development. We have yet to hear from prosecutors in New Mexico and get their reaction.
Interesting. Sophie Long, thank you very much indeed.